Hello, this is Grant Hughes of Grant Hughes Investigates on YouTube. Please hit that like button, share the video, and subscribe. Well, I was just on Ashleigh Banfield's show yesterday, and a recording, and she put out a video, and we were discussing where the doors are, and then she apparently uncovered an image today where it shows, I think it's Savannah Guthrie, inside the home. And here's that picture right here. Now when you look at this, you see this kitchen over here, and then there's a window kind of high up here, and I don't know if they've remodeled or what's going on in the house. We don't know. This is really pretty old here. This has got to probably be over 20 years old, I would think, maybe even 30. But you see there's a corner here, and then it goes back there. Now if you look at an overlay that I did, I actually took the Google Earth map. We can turn it off for a second, both of these. And there's Google Earth. And then this map that came out, or a diagram, I guess, that shows the distances, fits right over the top of it perfectly. So what it turns out, in the picture that she's showing, there's a door right there. And that turns out to be, if you see, there's the window, and then that's the undercover area right there, underneath the awning. So if we look at the map right here, let's look at Nancy Guthrie's house, and we go to the back here, and there's the undercovered area. And the way you're looking at it in that kitchen is about like this. So that means that the kitchen sink and everything is right under here, and then that door is right there. Now we haven't seen any pictures where we see a door right there until just recently. I just happened to be looking at it after Ashleigh sent me that image. I thought, well, heck, we got to go see if we can verify whether or not that door is in that position. So if we take a look at this video right here, this is one that was put out, looks like on Forbes CNN video. And this is the slider that goes into that living room area just as you come into the house, or maybe family room. I think it's probably the living room. So that's a slider that goes in there, and there's sort of a long entryway down to the arch. Now to the left here, where they're about to go into, that's likely Nancy Guthrie's bedroom slider. So this is on that little sort of secluded patio. And there you see it right there. There is the bedroom slider. Now let me continue forward around the house here. And then this guy right here comes walking out from under here. Now, I didn't notice it before, but look right there. There's a door, and that matches exactly where you would predict the door would be based on an image. All right, so let me put the black items here are doors. I'm guessing at some of these ones over here, but if you look at that one down below, right down, it's hard to see what I'm pointing at, but right down here, where it says 28.1 at the bottom of the screen, over to the left there's that little black square that I have. That actually is a door that leads out of the kitchen to the patio, and that kind of makes sense, right? Where you could sort of feed guests that might be sitting out underneath there. All right, and then that means that there's a sink right in this area, and there should be a window right underneath there, but it's kind of high up, so all the drone footage we see, we can't actually verify if it's there. And they also have done some remodeling. It appears in that house over the years, different doors, etc. Maybe they removed the window. I just think it's up higher so you can't see it. So what we know now is that there's 6 doors outside. This one here doesn't allow you to get inside the house. It's just a storage door. The door right back underneath here, let me just show you. It's underneath here. It's the blue door. You can barely see it under there, but there's a door right there that goes in. So you have that one. Now we have a door that's right over here that we just showed. So that's 3 doors, but only 2 so far that can go inside the home. And then if you go over here, there's 2 sliders. A slider here and a slider right there. Both of those go inside the home. This one goes into the living room, and this one here goes into Nancy Guthrie's bedroom. And then we know that there's also a door right here that goes into the front door of the house, where the surveillance footage of the guy wearing the balaclava was filmed. So it makes it possible then that there's another entry point right here where the person could have gone into the house, and maybe that was the door that was left wide open. In fact, that one seems like it really almost makes a little more sense because it's, you know, off and sort of to the side and gives you a little bit more, you know, it's a little bit more hidden. But it could be either one of these two. So the likely entry point is one of these two doors underneath the awning here. Now there's a camera right here. See that little nodule that sticks out right there? That's actually the camera in the backyard. Now at the press conference, as I've said on different shows, the sheriff said that at 1:47, the doorbell camera was disconnected. So that means it's out of play in terms of their timeline after 1:47. And then it says another camera picked up motion of a person. And then somebody, you know, he was just trying to add extra information and said, but I guess it could have been an animal, right? And that's when the FBI agent kind of rolled his eyes, because at that point he realizes that the sheriff has now said that it was a camera outside, because you're not going to have a cougar or a raccoon, etc., running around inside your home. So it's likely this camera right there that at 2:12 picked up motion in the backyard of somebody back here. We know that the light was broken over there, but that could have been a different day. So you would think that maybe they had another motion detected. Maybe that's what they're doing on. So let's just say it was January 11th or 12th, where the date is that they're looking at. What if they had another motion detected late at night back there that was similar to the one from the night that Nancy Guthrie was abducted? And that's why they're having people look around. Perhaps that's what they're basing that on, that there's another late night tripping of the camera. There's just no video because it's been written over since then. So when the perpetrator, perhaps jumping over this fence here, came back, maybe this light was already taken out and just wasn't repaired. They probably realized Nancy maybe doesn't go back there very often. Maybe she goes in her house and, you know, reads a book or watches TV, etc. So they broke this a few days before, and then when they came over, this camera right there picks up motion as the perpetrator is about to enter the home. And then they use one of these two doors, enter the home, and probably confront Nancy around 2:13, 2:14, and then they take her out the front door. Now, the they could be one person. All we have right now is evidence that one person did this, because one person could do it, and all we see is one person. Is there a second person? Maybe a driver? Maybe somebody else was behind the house. Maybe the person in the front of the house, their sole job was just to get rid of the camera, and there was somebody else that went in the back and then came out the front door. Like perhaps this guy got rid of the camera, then eventually pulls the car up, and then somebody else is in the back getting Nancy out of the house, and then that person helps the person driving put Nancy into the vehicle in the front here. My theory is there's just one person, but it wouldn't be shocking at all if there was more than one. So if we put it all together, I think that the person came to the house, and at 1:47, they walked in here and they removed the doorbell camera. Then they exit the area for a little bit. They leave for about 20 minutes to see if, when they set off the motion sensor on that camera, if law enforcement will show up. Law enforcement didn't show up, so a vehicle then was perhaps driven into this area at around 2:10 or so, right? Maybe 2:09. Then the person goes around the back and jumps over the fence here, and that's why at 2:12 this camera picks up the motion. And then they go into the house here. They abduct Nancy Guthrie. They'll know exactly what time the perpetrators confronted Nancy, because her pacemaker data will have abnormalities in it as her stress level go up. Then at 2:28, her pacemaker disconnects from the monitor inside the house. And that could have happened while she's still in the house, because it's only got like a 10-foot range. And this house is really pretty large, even though it looks, when you're just looking at this picture, it doesn't look huge, but it really is a large house. So once she's 15 or 20 feet away, it's going to disconnect. So it could have been on the way to the exit right here, where her pacemaker disconnected, and it was already disconnected the whole time she was being removed and placed in the vehicle, and then she's driven away. That's why her pacemaker never connected again to the receiver inside the home. All right, so I think that all makes sense. So it looks like now there's 6 doors outside the home. One of them goes into a storage unit, so there's only 5 sort of viable entry points. But it seems like investigators believe it was a door in the back, and that actually matches the surveillance footage picking up motion at 2:12. So leave in the comments section what you guys think. I think this is pretty interesting. The house inside seems a lot more complicated than it appears. I wish we had the floor diagram. Apparently, somebody sent me an email and said that there was 4.5 baths and 4 bedrooms in there. Now, there might have been some remodeling done, but, 4 bathrooms. I don't see any doors or anything in any of the images that we do have showing where a bathroom is, and there's 4 of them. 4.5, actually. So let me know in the comments sections what you think. If you have any other images from inside the home or any diagrams out there, let me know. I'll share them with Ashleigh. Thank you guys very much for watching. And as I always say, until next time, be safe out there.